All right, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to show some behind the scenes of how I got to where I got. I'll do a few of these. This will be the first installment. And the first thing I'm going to show is where it all began. As I mentioned before, the idea for Stealth Mount came from when a friend's bike was unfortunately stolen. And it was like, damn, I wish I had an AirTag on there. A head unit mount seems like about the same size as an AirTag. I'm not gonna start this company, but you already started a bike product company, why don't you make it? And I was like, oh yeah, it'll be super fast. It wasn't. So when it started, I thought I could make the whole thing out of SLS prints. That way I don't have to tool, and I could design them to be these components that are like, the one thing is printed, and everything else is sourced as needed. I wasn't gonna make the receivers myself, because I was like, I have nothing to add to that. And these were the first prints. So these are SLS nylon. They're a glass fill nylon, because glass fill nylon is super bomber. And I assumed that a glass fiber nylon would be really good when printed as well, but on second pass, where did I put that box of stuff that I just got this from? Right back with the box of stuff. It's kind of obvious now, but you know, SLS is inherently a powder process, so the glass fibers can only be so long. And the answer is they're not that long. And this stuff is really bendy. You know, it's like, it's actually just not that stiff. It's totally unusably floppy. So I made a bunch of these, and these are all trash, but I'm glad I kept them for the purpose of this video. And at the time, I was going to do printed parts and then sourced components. So this was a bolt hole pattern to take either a Wahoo or Garmin adapter off the shelf, AliExpress, Amazon, whatever, and offload all of the molding to somebody else, you know, sourced. I think I had a TPU ring that I was gonna print and put in the bottom, and then you're gonna trap the AirTag with this cavity, drop it in top, and at the time my big innovation for saving size was to use thread forming screws instead of inserts. So there was like four or six thread forming screws that I was gonna drive right into the plastic, and it was gonna work great. And then, you know, obviously I tested this and it was really bendy and it was unusable. And also the form sucked, right? Like I don't really know why I thought about releasing this, but it clearly wasn't there. And I think at this point I still had a shim to step it down different sizes. I cored this out for some material saving. I clearly was still doing a GoPro flange of some kind. I do have those. So I was gonna do this GoPro flange as well. That actually largely stayed the same. And this didn't work. And it was back to the drawing board with a lot more prototypes before I got to the finished product, which you know, hopefully love. And I'm looking forward to making some more of these videos because I think it's kind of fun to show behind the scenes about like what it took to get to the finished product.